Alistair, what's this?
It's a sock?
It's a filthy sock. How did it find its way to my bedroll?
Maybe it likes you. Socks are sneaky like that. Anyway, it's not mine.
It has your name stitched on it.
Oh, part of Templar training back at the Chantry, the men were always getting their socks mixed up. Anyway, sorry about that. I'll take it from you right now. One of my socks is feeling a little damp anyway. A change would be nice.
You're going to put it on? It's filthy.
And dry. We're not exactly traveling in the lap of luxury here.
What hideous habits you've picked up.
Good day.
As there is the one who repents, who has faith unshaken by the darkness of the world, and roasts not, nor gloats over the misfortunes of the weak, but takes delight in the Maker's law and creations.
Boasts. It's boasts, sister, not roasts.
She shall know the peace of the Maker's benediction. The light shall lead her safely through the paths of this world and into the next.
Peace, sister, peace. She shall know the peace of the Maker's benediction.
The veil holds no uncertainty for her, and she will know no fear of death, for the Maker shall be her beacon and her shield, her foundation and her...
There's no veal in the chant. You're doing this on purpose, aren't you?
Oh, it's not an interruption, dear. We were just finishing up before mealtime. What can I do for you? Praying for the good people of Denerim who've lost loved ones at Ostergard. It's usual to recite a stanza from Transfigurations when you pray for the departed.
It's usual to recite the stanza correctly.
But that's what I said.
Andraste, deliver us. If her grace were to hear this...
I wouldn't mess up the words if you wouldn't keep interrupting me. Grand Cleric Elomena understands the importance of concentration, you know.
Her grace, may the Maker bless her heart, lost her hearing 20 years ago. If she doesn't catch your blasphemous mistakes, it's because she didn't hear them.
Tell you about the chart? What? As if it's a cake you might buy? Well, it's done enough, but a little too much nutmeg for my taste.
Sister, instructing the ignorant is a sacred duty of the Chantry.
Fine, then. What do you want to know? It's the 10th stanza from the Transfigurations. Lovely canticle, that one. Oh, you should have heard Brother Caedmon sing it, though. He had a voice like a bucket full of toads. Revered Mother Boanne, bless her heart, always said, if we had more voices like his, the Maker couldn't fail to take note of us. It was tragic, really. Such a surprise.
We don't speak of that.
He was in charge of the lyrium storehouse. It wasn't good for him, you see. He took off all his clothes in the middle of the chant one summer day and ran into the street. He tripped and fell into the vat of elderberry wine for the feast and drowned. We were 6 days drying him out for his cremation. He looked like a pickled egg. So tragic. Oh, there are some very stirring canticles about doom and wrath.
Darkspawn were created by mankind's second sin, pride. Arrogance became a great caged beast in the lands of Tevinter, an emptiness that consumed all and could never be filled. To satisfy its hunger, the mage lords assaulted the Golden City, heart of all creation, to take the Maker's power for themselves.
Why does no one ever sing the good stanzas during chantry services anymore? They speak them. It's called the chant of light, not the speech of light.
Sister, would you kindly stop messing up the chant?
See how you like being interrupted.
Well, you get the general idea, I'm sure.
It is almost mealtime, isn't it?
Blessings of the Maker and of Andraste, his bride, upon you.
And I'm off.
Strange that matters can be so tumultuous and yet the day still be so bright. Oh, my pardon. Just thinking aloud. Are you here for the Chanter's Board? Well-armed individuals that visit the rectory tend to be here for that. Chanter Rosamond is tireless and resolute in her duties. I'm sure you can find something of interest on her board. I am Sister Justine, curator of the reliquary of this chantry. And pride again. It is hard to live up to the example of Andraste. I have always been fascinated with history. What better place to indulge that than the birthplace of the Maker's prophet? To be the curator of this chantry and to be so young. I fight a battle with pride, and hopefully the Maker can forgive my occasional defeat. The archivist tends the books, and I tend the sacred relics. I also search for more to add to our collection, which is more difficult than it sounds. A hawker on the street will claim to have an actual finger bone of Andraste. In this city alone, you could make the skeleton of 10 prophets from fingers alone. Curators often accept them as genuine. I worry about the authenticity of even our most holy artifacts. When I was a curator of a much smaller chantry in Orlais, I thought that false relics slipped through because of laziness. But the life of the cloth is never an easy one, and that explanation always seemed hollow to me. Now I believe it's the seduction of the divine. We all want a personal connection to the Maker. We want to believe that what we hold in our hands is the actual sandal that slipped from Andraste's foot before the fires consumed her. Faith is of the heart, not of the head. When the heart is ungoverned by reason, charlatans have powerful tools to deceive. And often close to heretical. But I believe that the truth only increases the awe of the Maker and his prophet, not demean it. Even false symbols have the power to inspire, but it seems every year we fall more out of touch with the real Andraste. Certainly, my research indicates that all of the ashes were gathered into a pot or urn, but it's been lost for centuries. That doesn't stop hawkers from selling pinches of the ashes of Andraste to gullible pilgrims. The real ashes may still be hidden somewhere, though it's possible the urn broke. Well, there's one that might be real. I couldn't prove it wasn't. Perhaps you can understand my skepticism. So many claims, so few truths. You've shown admirable patience listening to my diatribe before. I will not bore you again. Suffice it to say, I look for and authenticate holy relics for the chantry. Of course, enjoy your visit to the chantry.
Yes.
In the name of Andraste, bride of the Maker, be welcome in this house. While the cathedral is closed, if you need to make wedding or funeral arrangements, you'll have to talk to Sister Olma.
Did someone die? I remember a funeral.
King Kaelin died, remember? Along with most of the army at Ostagar? Maker guide them all.
That which you fear, living in the shadow of death alone, I have seen it is only a cloud passing before the sun.
The death toll at Ostagar was staggering. We've had a funeral every day for a lost son or daughter of Denerim, and we've many more yet to hold.
Are they singing the chant now? It's a funeral, isn't it?
He should have retired to Val Royeaux years ago, but he wanted to stay and serve the remainder of his days in his homeland. It's the Lyrium that does this. He wouldn't be a Templar anymore.
Blessed are they who stand before the corrupt and the wicked, and do not falter.
He doesn't forget who he is, even if he can't remember anything else. May the light of the Maker guide your steps.
Magic exists to serve man and never to rule over.
Huh. And I'm off.
Good to see you again.
Leave me to my business.
I once had my portrait painted by an artist in the square here. It wasn't very good.
Hello there, Warden. I'm a friend. I've heard you're putting up the good fight against Loghain and Howe, right? Good for you. Make a spit on all those arrogant noble bastards. I've also heard you have certain skills. Skills of the street, you might say. No judgments here, mate. I want to help you. You're a noble. I didn't know that. But you're a warden, and my hope is you'll help us little fellas out. Your likeness has been shown to some of the guards. Managed to get a peek at it myself. The name is Slim Cauldry, and if you've heard of me, I've been doing a sad job of it, haven't I? I hear a great many things, and for those who view certain pesky laws as mere nuisances, there's some ripe fruit to be plucked out there. I can point the way. All I ask is for a little slice for myself. Well, one of my mates noticed your skills. Nice piece of work, that. Uncommon caliber, if you don't mind me saying. But I need to know what else you can do. Ever done bump and grabs? Do much blending in shadows? Different opportunities for different folk, you know. Oh, you're multi-talented, are you? Don't get much of that in these parts. Since the guard will hang or skewer you if you get caught, it makes advancement dicey. Now that we have that settled, just ask away. One point. I don't like blood much. Call me old-fashioned, but the Maker says thou shalt not strangle, decapitate or whatnot unless the other fella really had it coming, eh? I realise sometimes you do what you have to, but restrained, right? So, what are you interested in? I've got a place for you. It should be easy money for you. It'll cost 1 sovereign, though. Lady Sophie is an intimate of Al Howe. Real intimate. She's visiting the country, because that's what rich folk do when the whole bloody kingdom's in danger. Sorry, they just get me so angry. Her room in the Nord Noble Tavern is unattended. That means her valuables are just there for the taking. You've got the tavern staff to worry about, plus she has hired a guard. A very overworked, tired and bored guard, though. Just be careful and you should be fine. Good luck. Warden, no luck yet, eh? Keep trying. I've got one. Should be easy pickings. 50 silver. A lady's maid is in the marketplace. She's wearing bright green. Should be easy to spot. She's got a purse with some of her mistress's ill-gotten gems. Just relieve her of her purse, and then we both come out ahead. Good luck, Warden.
Welcome, friends. Welcome to Wade's Emporium. We have the finest armors in Denerim, maybe in all of Ferelden. How may we assist you? Certainly.
And I'm off.
Perhaps I could have a try at that.
Don't stare at me, Joe. I can have my father send you some.
Perhaps I could have a try at that.
Good day. The market is busy, is it not? Come, rest here. I have the finest selection of flowers and Orlesian-scented oils in all of Denerim. For a lady friend, perhaps? Roses can open any woman's heart, you know.
What is it? I have work to do. What does it say? Ah, I knew this would happen. Just when I was starting to get good. Well, thanks, I guess.
Going.
Dwarven craft. Welcome, welcome. We sell only the strongest dwarven steel, folded over 100 times in the forges of Orzammar. In times like this, surely your group could use some extra protection on the road. Every piece comes with a stamp of assurance from my wife's father, the best smith in Denerim. Dwarven crafts. Fine dwarven.
I recognize you. From Ostagar. And Draste's blood. You're a Grey Warden. Duncan's apprentice. You killed my friend. And good King Kalen. I demand satisfaction, sir. I have heard of the Grey Warden's prowess, and you seem more capable than you did at Ostagar. I won't throw my life away. Too many people depend on me, and I doubt guards would pose any challenge to you. But by word and deed here you condemn yourself, sir.
If you have coin, welcome to our shop. If not, move along. Too many refugees blocking customers. Oh, yes.
Prices keep on climbing. It's the war, they say.
You here to report another crime? I swear we should just cordon off the entire district. Oh, can I help you, Warden? Your likeness was passed around to the senior guardsman at the palace. I must say, the sketch didn't do you much justice. Don't worry, even if I believed the official story of what happened at Ostagar, I'm no fool. If I asked my men to apprehend you, they'd all run and cry big sobby tears in their courtesans' bosoms and leave me all alone to be skewered. Don't disturb the peace in the market, and that's well enough for me. What? You're serious? I mean, yes, I could use help. I've got a pretty popular establishment that's crawling with mercenaries. If I send my boys in, someone might get, maker forbid, hurt, and I'll have to explain to their noble fathers that being a guard is actually dangerous. The name of the whorehouse is the Pearl. Beat down any mercenaries that are out of line and send them a message. I said beat down, not kill. Let me make that really clear. Not on fire, or exploded, or make a nose, whatever type of grisly death you can dream up. Sorry. Used to giving orders to my boys. Just leave them breathing and I'll be happy. Thank you, Warden. Happy hunting.
Warden, one lady's maid groped and pilfered. At least that's how I'd like to imagine it happened. You want something else? I got one. Better than the last. One sovereign. I thought you might like this one. Sir Nancine has a fancy and expensive sword. Paid for courtesy of her oppressive taxes on her lands. She's going to be at the wonders of Thedas soon, no doubt figuring new ways to kick her peasants where it hurts. This swipe will be tougher. She's got good eyes, and stealing a sword from a scabbard isn't easy. If you can blend in shadows, that might help. Good hunting to you, Warden.
Turn your attention elsewhere. My business does not concern you. Thank you and farewell.
Dwarven crafts. Fine dwarven crafts. Direct from Orzammar.
Wouldn't that anyone's... Ah, don't mind us. Just talk, that's all.
By order of the new Earl of Denerim, no one is to enter the alienage. There's been an elven uprising. Knife-ears even have the gall to attack the Earl's only son. Killed him in cold blood. With the whole Urian family dead, the regent appointed Rendon Howe of Amaranthine the new Earl of Denerim. First thing he did was lead a purge of the alienage. It's a mess in there. When things are put back in order, the gates will be reopened. Now on your way.
All the news is traveling these days.
This is where the nobility comes to get drunk and decide who is the most self-important of them all. Good times.
And I'm off.
I'm a Crimson Ore. Which way you looking, or we'll rip your damned eyes out. I'm pissing your skull! Another round for me men!
What can I get you, stranger? What can I get you, stranger? Have you heard? Loghain has named Arl Rendon Howe as the new Teyrn of Denerim, with the Arling going to Howe's eldest son. Urian died at Ostagar and his son died in some elven revolt in the city. It's tragic news. I wonder what got Arl Howe such a promotion. Anything else you need? Nobody seems to know where Arl Eamon is in all this business. If he were here, he could put a stop to all this talk of civil war for sure. Anything else you need? There's knights from Redcliffe spread all over Ferelden on some kind of mission, but I hear that they're starting to become rarefied. Maybe they all went back to Redcliffe. More likely they got tired of searching for something that can't be found and abandoned their search. I wonder what Earl Eamon is gonna do without any knights. Anything else you need? There's another royal army already gathering in the east, but from what I hear, when it marches, it'll be headed west, not south towards the Darkspawn. Can you imagine? If the Benorn stand up against Loghain, we won't need the Darkspawn to destroy us. We'll do their work for them. Anything else you need? It's not just Darkspawn in the Hordes, you know that? There are people with them. Folks who are sick with the blight, and their minds are all twisted and mad. I heard tell of a man meeting his own brother on the field, yet when he called out to him, his brother didn't even recognize him and just attacked. Anything else you need? Tiernan Loghain had one of the Benorn arrested for speaking out against him. Arrested! Can you imagine such a thing? It seems the band were talking treason about how Loghain needed to be forcibly removed from the throne. But arrested? How can you arrest one of the Benorn? Anything else you need? Right, I'll show you around.
My shift's nearly over. Thank Andraste.
Perhaps I could have a try at that. You know, Wynne, I have a friend back in Antiva who would be very excited to meet you.
I'm sorry?
Salvail prefers women with experience and maturity. He says they have more substance, are more robust and flavorful.
Does he now?
Shall we?
I am not a bird.
There is no reason to deny yourself the pleasure of male companionship, after all, yes? You might balk now, but I assure you, Salvail is a gentleman of means and quite handsome.
I am going to walk away now, calmly, coolly. This is to save you the pain of having your brain forcibly removed through your ears.
This must be a Ferelden thing, I swear.
And I'm off.
Perhaps I could have a try at that.
Huh? Huh? Huh?
What can I get you, stranger?
Going.
Yes? What are you doing here? My name is Wayland. I'm the assistant of the scholar Brother Genetivi. This is his house. This is a private dwelling. I would appreciate it if you left. He's an eminent scholar and researcher who serves the Great Chantry. When you first came in, I was hoping that you had news of Brother Genetivi. Wishful thinking, it seems. I haven't seen Brother Genetivi in weeks. He sent no word. It's so unlike him. Genetivi was on the trail of the Urn of Sacred Ashes. I fear he has gotten too close to the truth. I don't know. He was very excited when he left and said he would be back with all the answers. Perhaps the urn has been lost for a reason. I pray for Genetivi's safety, but hope dwindles with each passing day. I tried to send help, but some knights came from Redcliffe looking for him not long ago. I sent them after Genetivi, and they too have disappeared. Well, they haven't returned, and they sent no word either. I don't know. After what happened to Genetivi, can you blame me for thinking the same thing could happen to the knights? Perhaps I am just a pessimist. I hope I am wrong. Now, don't ask me where they went. You'll go after them. And what if ill luck should befall you too? This search is a curse on all of us. Some things are not meant to be found. I know that now. So be it. All he said before he left was that he would be staying at an inn near Lake Calenhard, investigating something in that area. If you were wise, you would turn away and never look back. Please, I beg you. I do not think this will end well. All actions have consequences. Perhaps Genetivi brought this on himself. Genetivi could not see how the search had consumed him. It was all he thought about. I hated seeing him like that. I'm not surprised it led to this. It is just the fear speaking. You're wasting time. If you insist on going after Brother Genetivi, you should leave as soon as possible. I mean, well, you seemed so earnest. If anyone is to find him, they should do it sooner rather than later. I am just his assistant. I just follow instructions. Yes, of course. Thank you for your concern. It's been a very difficult time for me, and sometimes I don't know what to think or feel. I want Genetivi to be rescued, but I don't want more people to be hurt. You understand, don't you? You do not have to trust me. My conscience is clear. Follow in Genetivi's footsteps if you must, but be careful. What are you doing? You're not supposed to go in there. I'm sorry, but that room is not for guests. It's full of books and papers, and I'd rather they were not disturbed. I said no. Genetivi was a very private person. No, don't touch that door!
And I'm off.
Yes.
Yes, make it quick. Strange. Let's see this. I knew it! I gave that man the best 7 weeks of my life. Well, I guess he won't have me to push around anymore. Ha!
Welcome to the wonders of Thedas. We carry items crafted by the Circle, as well as a variety of antiquities. Is there anything you would like to see?
This weather is miserable.
All right.
I won't take the blame for this one.
All right.
Thanks. I ain't sticking around to see how this turns out.
Something on your mind? Something on your mind? Of course.
Warden, once Sir Nancine realizes she's robbed, I bet she'll be furious. That's delicious. Truly well done. You have time for another? I'm glad you asked. It'll cost you 3 sovereigns. We're not stealing from a lass this time. We're stealing from Ban Derby. Master Tilver, the Ban silversmith, has been on holiday for the past couple of weeks, but he's in town for the day. All of his valuable, expensive goods are locked up tight, but he has the key. He's got 2 guards with him, not the cheap kind either. If you can get by them, you should be good. Luck to you, Warden.
Leave me to my business.
Need a message delivered, sir? Messages? Distractions? You pay for it, I'm in. Those blokes? Oh, this will be a pleasure, sir. Have you no worry. I'll distract them good. Knob need lick spittles.
Why, that little pile of offal. Get in!
Too slow.
Going.
A little something extra. For friendship. He came at me! It's not my fault! Why did... Yeah, they got to learn not to mess with me. Us, right?
Warden, no luck yet, eh? Keep trying. You already got one. Let's not get greedy now. One noble ass at a time. Right you are.
Those guards better get back soon.
done are the work of our Maker's hands, from the lowest slaves to the highest kings. Those who bring ham without provocation to the least of his children are breaded and cursed by the king.
Dwarven. Welcome back. Is there something else you'd like to look at? Only the finest crafts, straight from Orzammar. Every piece comes with a stamp of assurance from my wife's father, the best smith in Denerim. Dwarven crafts. Fine dwarven crafts. Direct from Orzammar. You won't find... Welcome back. Is there something else you'd like to look at? Every piece comes with a stamp of assurance. Dwarven crafts. Fine dwarven crafts. Direct from Orzammar.
Warden, so you've struck again, eh? Ban Derby will be foaming at the mouth. I bet all of those rich louts will be afraid to go out. I'm not sure if I have anything else handy. I'm lining something up. The bleeding perfect mark. It'll be your greatest crime yet. But so far, the opportunity hasn't presented itself. If I find a way, I'll let you know. Maybe do something else in the city. Get a drink, visit a brothel, whatever Grey Wardens do to pass the time.
Yes?
I hope you like heroes, my lady. Because your husband died like one.
Why? What did he do to deserve this?
Looky here, men. When I heard that one of the famous Grey Wardens was pilfering folk, I thought, can't be. But here he is. Looks like the Wardens have fallen hard. Ha! Soldiers, kill him.
Immediately.
All right.
Yes. Why do they call it a brothel? There's no broth. Or is there?
Stop playing
That
games,
scamp
Isabella.
Kylon sent you,
We want
right?
our money.
Welcome to the Pearl. I'm Sanger, the proprietor. Have a seat, get comfortable, and tell me what you need. Every one of my people here is a skilled craftsman, and don't let anyone tell you different. You'll have to go one at a time, I'm afraid. Our rooms aren't quite big enough to share between so many. But we can discuss that in a moment. So what would you like me to show you? The men or the women? Or some of both, if you prefer.
Turn around and walk, stranger. This affair is for White Falcons only. Get a load of this guard. You're telling us what to do? You aren't no common guard. You're with All How, aren't you? Men, let's clear out. Don't want to get on Logain's bad side, do we?
Tell Kylon I own you.
If you want something, talk to Sanger.
Don't make me pitch you out.
Too good.
And look who we have here. Come to apologize for leaving me bereft of my lord husband and then vanishing without a trace.
You know it was just business, Isabella. Business that turned out well for you, I see. You inherited the ship, I take it.
I suppose I never did like the greasy bastard, and the siren treats me far better than she ever did him.
Indeed. This is Isabella, Queen of the Eastern Seas and the sharpest blade in Lomerin. And Isabella, my dear, you will no doubt be amused to discover that I am traveling with a Grey Warden.
A Grey Warden? Charmed. I assume you saw that little drama, and none of these poor brutes has ever proven a match for me. They are too clumsy and predictable. I fight with quickness and wit, rather than with brute force and strength. I call myself a duelist because I honed my skills in duels with warriors I encountered over the years. An unusual request, coming from a fearsome slayer of Darkspawn. I am flattered that you wish to learn from me, sweet thing. It will take you years of practice to achieve true mastery of the style, but I can teach you the basics. I do, however, wish to get to know my potential student better, so we shall call for a drink, and you will honor me with a game. Do you have something else in mind? Oh, and now you've piqued my interest. It would surely be rude of me to decline such a delicious offer. And what about you, Zev? Shall we? For old time's sake?
Oh, Isabella, you and your ridiculous appetites. Perhaps we should leave it up to our friend here.
Ah, this brings back memories. Come, my ship is down by the docks, and I am sure you will find my cabins quite comfortable. Well, that brings back memories, doesn't it, Zev? Pleasant ones, even.
For you, maybe. I still remember the time your husband tried to kill me. I had to flee across the rooftops completely unclothed.
Ah, yes. Those pleasant memories. Now, wasn't there something you wanted from me? A lesson, perhaps? Come. We will need some space for this.
Maker, Chantry, Templars, whoever, save me. I don't
Perhaps
mean to
I
kill
could
him.
have a try at
Can
that.
you make this... I could have handled it. Thanks. I think I need
On
to
it.
go hide somewhere.
All right.
Yes.
Another Grey Warden supporter.
Not just a supporter, Peyton. That's a Grey Warden. He's the one Arl Howe is looking for.
Our trap landed a Warden? You've got one chance to surrender. For what it's worth, I believe you. Not that I particularly care. We're not common guards, Warden. We're Howe's elite. Shavra, Tenant, and Jarvie, let's kill ourselves a Warden.
All right.
Yes. What? Is it customary where you're from to give complete strangers questioning looks? They call me Cassavir. I'm first mate on Captain Isabella's ship. More than this, you do not need to know. You are surprised. Isabella is no ordinary woman. Isabella commands the crew on the Siren's call. She is a remarkable woman, and as you saw, quite formidable. She calls herself a duelist. But you cannot pay me enough to duel her. I'm not so stupid as those two.
I was hoping I'd find you. I heard about the Pearl. I don't know how, but you got them to leave with no fuss at all. The Pearl's workers will...
Nobody gives orders to my men but me. A little lesson in respect is in order.
I see. Don't bother sparing these louts. Things are about to get messy. People actually voluntarily attack you. Are they just stupid? Here's the payment I promised. I might have more work if you're interested. but I'm heading back to the market district. Back alleys are just too dangerous for me.
Going.
Your orders?
Now we really have... Where do I go?
Yes?
I'm sorry, but your husband has fallen in battle. You have my condolences.
I feared this day would come.
Yes.
All right.
Kill Roz. Get him.
Not bad.
Going.
All right.
I'm sure you have your own business to attend to.
You! We're about to send the boys to hunt you down! Boss says kill him!
Another point for me! Yes. All right. Huh. Yes. Going.
You have some kind of problem? Oh? What was this about? I worried this might happen. I hoped it wouldn't be you who came for me. I have no choice. Forgive me, Warden, but I cannot go back with you.
Now let's... Going.
And I'm off. Going.
Huh.
Perhaps I could have a try at that.
Yes.
Invigorating that was.
And I'm off.
Yes.
And I'm off.
All right.
And I'm off.
All right.
Perhaps I could have a try at that.
All right.
Perhaps I could have a try at that.
Of course.
I stand ready.
Go into
Now let's see, which one first? And I'm off. Going.
my friend.
I'm ready.
Perhaps that.
And I'm off.
I know not how you've survived thus far. Is it luck or providence? No matter. You will not survive this!
Here I am. Ha! Now we play a little.
And I'm off.
is but one world, one life.
Those stung with 100 arrows, those suffering from ailments both great and small, his heart was strong, and he moved on.
As there is but one world, one life, one...
Take this. You've earned it.
Good to see you back. I've got complaints in the Nord Noble Tavern that some mercenaries have invaded. Nothing violent has happened. The sellswords are probably just disturbing the noble's rarefied conversation. Just drum the louts out of there. The barkeep doesn't mind some blood. Or sport, as she called it. Captain said Denerim won't miss a few dead mercenaries. Do what you will, and good luck.
Dwarven crafts. Fine dwarven crafts. Direct from Orzammar.
What can I get you, stranger? What can I get you, stranger?
What are you looking at? We're the Crimson Oars. Oh, you're threatening us. We're veterans of many battles. Who are you? We were just leaving. Yes, oars, we go to the docks.
The captain sends his regards. Maker's blessings upon you, Warden.
What can I get you, stranger? Right, I'll show you around.
You hear about the note? Maybe we have some things we can talk about.
Just see the conversation stays civil. If this is a trap,
Zevran, is it? You are Talisan's responsibility. Other crows may try to kill you, but in my eyes, you're already dead. So, you are of no notice. But the Warden here, he is of great interest to me. I can't stress enough that I wasn't hired to do anything. An associate was, and he's failed. And failed badly.
I'd like to see you do any better.
Do you take me for a fool? That's a contract I'd never take. A client can always hire more help if the job isn't done the first time. But I am hoping we can make sure that doesn't happen. A man's word is vital in any profession, especially delicate ones. Something like that. Ferelden is a busy place. Blight, civil war, other mayhem. Lots of people not getting along. Sometimes they really don't get along. Maybe want to do something about it.
The people that handle that sort of thing can get real busy. You could say that. Not many people we can turn to. So, someone that's crossed our path and lived, well, maybe they could help out. Make some coin. Everyone wins. I hand you a scroll. You read it, you learn about someone interesting. If you find out something happens to him, something unfortunate, then if we talk again, I give you money for letting me know.
I don't like the sound of this.
You don't like what's on the scroll? Don't do anything. Maybe he has an accident and someone else tells me all about it. That I cannot do. One master has a contract on you. But if you help us out, maybe if that master asks for help, he'll just get silence. Yes? There you go. Makes for fine reading.
You're a cautious little weasel, Ignacio. What's your angle? If you're playing us false...
My dance is not for you. I need to be real honest sometimes. And I can say I haven't asked anyone to do anything. I've just given someone something interesting to read.
And you think that will save your hide when they nail it to a wall?
You are already dead in my eyes, whoreson. Take care that I don't learn otherwise. If that's all, luck be to you. Enjoy the reading? Depends on the contract. The one you've got? Not especially. What? You did what? Your point isn't lost on me. You might want to look in the chest behind me. There might be something of interest.
All right.
Perhaps I could have a try at that.
Huh? All the news is troubling these days. Busy day today. My cousin was sent to Ostagar before the battle.
Good job clearing
I
those
hope
lads
he's all right.
out.
Going.
Perhaps I could have a try at that.
Huh.
Edwina sends her thanks for getting rid of the Crimson Oars. Mind you, she's disappointed there was no fighting. Here's payment. You've helped out a great deal. I have something for you. The Market District is a whole sight better because of what you've done for us. I know this may not be much, but it's an extra thanks. A lot of folks swallow whatever lies are fed to them, but us believers will try and spread word about you and the Wardens. Thanks. Thanks for the help you've given. Unfortunately, I have more headaches.
Warden, no luck yet, eh? Keep trying. One place at a time. Don't want to get ahead of yourself. Right you are.
Yes.
Let's wipe them out quickly.
I am here.
Yes.
Perhaps
And
I
you
could have a
like-
try at that.
Going.
Your dog is filthy. I can smell him 50 yards off. That may be so, but all the same, I would like your permission to bathe him. Excellent. I will get my soaps, and the dog shall have his bath after supper.
You call? Can I respond in poetry? No? How's that? You call? Again? I'm game. The itch has returned, I see.
Something on your mind? Of course. such as they are. About the Grey Wardens, any? Something on your mind?
You called. I am hardly surprised. To put it lightly, no one has a place here. Your farmers wish to be merchants. The merchants dream of being nobles, and the nobles become warriors. No one is content to be who they are. Very well. Speak, then. Then I suggest we move on. As you wish.
Something I can help with? Yes? What's on your mind?
You're quite taken with each other, aren't you? I've noticed your blossoming relationship, and I wanted to ask you where you thought it was going. It seems he only ever has one thing on his mind. I question the wisdom of a Grey Warden being involved in such an affair. You are a Grey Warden. You have responsibilities which supersede your personal desires. Love is ultimately selfish. It demands that one be devoted to a single person who may fully occupy one's mind and heart to the exclusion of all else. A Grey Warden cannot afford to be selfish. You may be forced to make a choice between saving your love and saving everyone else. And then what would you do? Nothing is certain. Not in these times. You cannot take anything for granted. I want you to be aware of this. You may have to save one or both of you unnecessary anguish later on. I have given my advice. Do with it what you will. What's on your mind? I try not to dwell too much on the mistakes of my past, of which there are many. I would go quite mad if I did that. But I do have one regret. The greatest misstep of my life, made even more grave because it had dire consequences for someone else. Years ago, I was assigned as mentor to a lad, Denerim. He was my first apprentice. Denerim was an elf, raised in one of the elven alienages, and he was very mistrustful of humans, especially humans in authority. All he knew of the humans was what he had seen in the alienage. He was very wary of us. What Denerim needed was time. Time to get used to his new home, time to emerge from his shell, so we could build a rapport. I gave him no such time. I was young and arrogant. He is a mage, I thought. He needs to grow up and act like one. I expected too much from him, too quickly. I gave no consideration to his origin or his feelings, and he retreated further from me. All I could think of was how stubborn he was, how he was throwing away all his talent and his potential, just to be difficult. Oh, age and wisdom have mellowed me. I was quite different back then. Much more unforgiving. You cannot plant crops in the cold, wintry ground. You cannot teach a student who is closed off and unresponsive. Patience is what is needed, and I learned that too late to help him. Denerim ran away from the circle one night. I had berated him over some trivial, ridiculous matter that I no longer remember. I drove him away because of something utterly unimportant. He was a child, 14 at the time of his leaving. They had his phylactery, and they hunted him down. They called him Maleficar, a mage who practices forbidden magic, deserving of death. He was a child, misunderstood and lost. I begged the Templars to tell me if he suffered, if they gave him a quick death. I got no answers from them. I was his mentor. and they wouldn't even tell me what became of him. I should have known better. I had the best mentors. They were kind, compassionate. Why didn't I learn from them? I failed Denerim. All I had to do was listen to him. He would try to talk to me, and I would tell him to concentrate on his spells. He talked about the alienage sometimes, and the Dalish. He always talked about looking for the Dalish elves. The Templars are well trained and thorough. That he still lives, it would be a vain hope. The apprentices that came after Denerim benefited greatly from the lessons I learned from him. In a sense, he was my teacher, and I his student. And there it is, my story, my one greatest regret. What's on your mind? I will answer to the best of my ability.
Such a force has not been seen since the collapse of the
Yes.
Tevinter Imperium.
I await your command. So, full of questions, are you? Why do you ask me such questions? I do not probe you for pointless information, do I? Any number of cats could inform you of the answer to that question, but have it your way. What is it you asked if I grew up in the wilds? A curious question. Where else would you picture me? For many years it was simply Flemeth and I. The wilds and its creatures were more real to me than Flemeth's tales of the world of man. In time I grew curious. I left the wilds to explore what lay beyond, never for long. Brief forays into a civilized wilderness. For the most part, Flemeth taught me well. For all that I had been taught, however, the truth of the civilized lands proved to be overwhelming. I was unfamiliar with so much. So confident and bold was I, yet there was much that Flemeth could never have prepared me for. Equal parts daring and foolhardy, perhaps. Only once was I accused of being a witch of the wilds, and that by a chastened who happened to be traveling with a merchant caravan. He pointed and gasped and began shouting in his strange language, and most assumed he was casting some curse upon me. I acted the terrified girl, and naturally, he was arrested. Men are always willing to believe two things about a woman. One, that she is weak, and two, that she finds him attractive. I played the weakling and battered my eyelashes at the captain of the guard. Child's play. The point being that I was able to move through human lands fairly easily. Whatever humans think a witch of the wild looks like, 'tis not I. Not that I did not have trouble. There are things about human society which have always puzzled me, such as the touching. Why all the touching for a simple greeting? Yes, yes, some men have painted lines across the maps. I've seen them. I'm sure the human world is very diverse, but the differences are mostly meaningless. There were many nuances that Flemeth could never tell me of. When to look into another's eyes, how to eat at a table, how to bargain without offending. None of these things I knew. I still do not understand it all, truth be told, but then I gave up long ago any hope of doing so. When I returned to the wilds last, I swore to Flemeth that I had no intention of leaving again. Yes? Let's ignore the entire Darkspawn threat and the presence of a simpleton as your only other Grey Warden ally, then. Not that I lack appreciation for the intent of your comment. Thank you. Well, let's get on with it before the ground opens up and swallows us, yes? I await your command. So, full of questions, are you? Well, that depends, does it not? What does she seem to be? Sometimes I do wonder the very same thing. Tell me, how much do you know of the tale? The one that the chastened still tell of my mother, to frighten them into obedience. No doubt such a tale has mutated much over time and telling. I can relay what Flemeth once told me herself, and you can decide whether or not 'tis the truth, if you desire. As the tale is sung by the bards, there was a time when Flemeth was young and beautiful, a fair lass in a land of barbarian men, the desire of any who saw her. The tales say that Flemeth fell in love with Osen the bard, and fled the castle of her husband, the dread Lord Conabar, and that he swore vengeance for her infidelity. In truth, my mother claims that 'twas Osen who was her husband, and Conabar the jealous lord who looked on from afar. Lord Conabar approached young Osen and offered him wealth and power in exchange for his lovely wife, and Osen agreed. The life of a bard is a poor one, and love fades in the wake of hunger. 'Twas Flemeth who suggested the arrangement. All would have been well had Lord Conabar kept his end of the bargain. But he was a foul man who bargained with coin he did not possess. Osen was led off to a field and slain, left for dead. Flemeth spoke to the spirits and learned of the deed, and swore revenge. That was not the point. Conabar had no honor, so she would not have him. Flemeth begged the spirits to aid her, and 'twas they who slew Conabar. The demon the legend tells of came later. Lord Conabar's allies chased Flemeth, you see. Chased her to the wilds, and there she hid. There she found the demon, and he made her strong. The legends all speak of the great hero Cormac, he who defeated Flemeth and her great army when she invaded the lowlands centuries later. All lies. The truth of the matter is that there was never an invasion. As Flemeth tells it, the Chastened never raised an army under her banner, and she never fought with any warrior named Cormac. Cormac led a brutal civil war against his own people, and later claimed it was to vanquish evil that had taken root amongst the lords. Thus, he was hailed a hero. Flemeth was only attached to the legend much later. Perhaps 'twas due to the great war with the Chastened that eventually came, but Mother claims not to know how it began. I do not believe everything that Flemeth claims. Oft it seems her bitterness has colored her memories. But on the whole, yes, I believe this tale, if not all. You ask if I have sisters. I have asked of this myself. The stories tell of many witches of the wilds after all, not just the one. And these tales existed long before I did. Flemeth refuses to speak of other daughters, if they existed. So, should I believe I am her first? I doubt that too. The demon within her has transformed her into something else. An abomination, perhaps some would say. I know not. I only know my mother is clever, and she is part of the wilds as it is part of her. But she is no immortal. She bleeds. A blade in her heart would kill her like any other, were it lucky enough to find her. Flemeth tells it with far more embellishment than I, but you are welcome. Dare I ask of your own mother? Few are abominations of legend, 'tis true, but I find myself curious nevertheless. Ah, then you have my sympathies for what it is worth. Which is very little, I am certain. It matters not. Let us move on. I await your command. So, full of questions, are you? You are very cute to ask so many questions. Of course I don't. 'Tis no matter. My mother has been hunted from time to time, yes, by Templar fools like Alistair, which should tell you how successful they generally were. Flemeth made a bit of a game of it, in fact. The Templars would come again, and she would look at me and smile and say that the fun was to begin once more. They came with as much swagger and arrogance as they did self-righteousness. Pity them if you wish, for they held none for us. Flemeth would warn them once. 'Twas a warning they inevitably failed to heed. And then the true game began. Often Flemeth would use me as bait. A little girl to scream and run and lure the Templars deeper into the wilds and to their doom. Sometimes. Eventually. Thankfully, the wilds is a vast place. Once they found us, Flemeth would simply move us elsewhere, and we would be lost within the forest once again. I did not understand the danger we faced until I was much older. I had never heard of apostates or maleficarum. I think that my mother made it fun so that a child did not learn to fear. And I think that it was necessary. There are no trials for apostates, no prisons, no mercy. There are only absolutes, so only survival matters. If the wilds have taught me anything, 'tis this. First, you must survive. Do you disagree? Oh? I would ask what exactly, but I'm certain that would be a lengthy conversation, and suddenly I grow very weary. Enough of this talk. Let us return to the task at hand. I await your command. So, full of questions, are you? I await your command. We are in camp, so 'tis as good a time as any. A fine gift. You have my thanks. A fine gift. You have my thanks. Oh, how dear of... Most kind.
Something you need? I'm sure either my boy or I can help you out. I'm sure you'll be pleased with the goods my boy and I have collected, and with your discount. and your friends are formidable folk, indeed. It's good to have you along on the road. I'm sure you'll be pleased with the goods my boy and I have collected, and with your discount.
Yes.
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 You have coin, stranger? With Orzammar closed off, old Tegra can get you a discount. Fine weapon and arms, dwarven made.
I haven't been this hurt in... well,
All right.
Huh.
Oh, thank you, Maker. Thank you, thank you.
yes.
Yes.
Once the Dryden's were strong. We will be again one day.
What can I do for you, Warden? Certainly. What can I do for you, Warden? Certainly.
You? You're the Warden? My family owes you. Any weapons I make, I will sell you for a discount.
Go.
Yes.
Yes.
Get your horses off Ben Talman's land. We won't bend needle again.
Loghain is the regent. He demands your...
We're not Orlesian lickspittles. We owe no man our allegiance. Leave!
Take their lands by force, men. Regent's orders.
We showed those Loghain upstarts.
As there is but one world, one life, one death, there is...
And after much sweat, blood and toil, her labors ended, and the world marveled at what she wrought.
No mention of dessert. Surely this is a miracle.
Yes.
The deep dark before dawn's first light seems eternal, but no.
The Mage's Collective thanks you. Make us smile upon you.
I know the chant like the practice. What? No mention of dessert?
The deep dark